episode of HealthFirst, we're joined by leading aesthetic specialist Dr. Karla Orsine Murta DS, who is the founder and medical director of Dr. Karla Clinic in London. We're discussing the science and benefits of dermal fillers today. Good morning, Dr. Karla. How are you?
Morning. I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
I'm well, thank you. It's really, really lovely to speak to you today.
Me
Um,
too.
so could you tell us more about yourself and your work?
So I'm a doctor and I'm ophthalmologist. I currently work at Moorfields Eye Hospital in London and at my private practice and in aesthetics.
Let's get started with the questions. Okay, so how do dermal fillers work and what are they commonly used for?
Dermal fillers are made of hyaluronic acid in general, and they are a substance, they are gel that we apply under the skin depending on the indication to beautify or rejuvenate some areas. So then we can achieve good results in terms of people feeling more comfortable with their faces.
Fantastic. And what are the different types of dermal fillers available, and how do they vary in effectiveness or application?
That's a very good question. There are different brands that we can use, and how we are going to choose, it will depend on our experience and how we feel comfortable using each of them. In each brand, we are going to find a little bit softer and or harder fillers. And in general, we are going to apply harder fillers in areas that we want to volumize, and they are deeper areas. And softer fillers we are going to use in areas that are more mobile or we want more details, for example, lips. And it's very important that we understand this as doctors, because then we can use the best filler in your face, so then we can have better results.
Fantastic. And how safe are they? How safe are dermal fillers? And what should patients know about potential side effects?
Dermal fillers are widely used and they are considered to be safe, very safe procedures. It's important that the patients understand the risks, because then they can make consent and they can understand the risks and they know what they are going to. So in terms of injections, so every injectable has risks, as everything that we do in medicine. When we do injectables, we create a wound in the face, and then the risks are bleeding, bruises, and infection. Because of that, it's very important that we have a very clean area, very clean procedure, and then that's why it's so important that a patient sees a doctor, because then we can make sure that the area is clean. In terms of the risks of the procedures, it can be related to the amount that we put, and it be too much or too little. And that's very important that we always understand how we are going to treat so the patient can get a good outcome. And there are other very rare risks that we need to always address with the patient, so then they can decide if they want to take the risk or not. But we always minimize these risks by doing extra procedures, for example, an ultrasound, so we can map the blood vessels, so we can decrease the risk of, for example, a vascular occlusion.
Fantastic. That's really reassuring. Okay. And how can dermal fillers enhance one's appearance? Do patients often experience a boost in confidence following the treatment?
It's so interesting how our appearance is related to our confidence. Of course, this is not the only thing that we have, but in the society that we live, this is a very important area. So in my practice, I always go for natural results. So the patient is gonna look at herself and is going to feel like herself. Because I see a lot that the patients come to clinic and what they want to be perceived as sometimes is different from what they look just because they are aging. So even minimal treatment can give a very good boost. So in my practice, I never over-treat someone, so then they are going to change how they look. What I do is I increase and I enhance their own beauty.
That's fantastic. Okay, final question. What can patients expect during their journey at Dr. Karla Clinic from consultation to transformation?
In my clinic, I always let the patient feel very comfortable. Initially, we are going to do a full consultation, which is the medical consultation, to understand the suitability. Because for me, there is no need to go through risks, for example, so then the patient will feel uncomfortable if they are not suitable for treatment. So what we do is initially a patient has a form that we need to fill, and we double check this form, checking about general health, allergies, and then what we are going to do is understand what the patient wants. So as a consequence, the patient will explain to me what are the areas that they are unhappy with and how they want to be treated. And then we are going to agree together what can be done, what cannot be done. I think it's always very important that we address that some things cannot be treated with dermal fillers. Then I may suggest other treatments, or I may say, unfortunately, that I don't think that's going to be treated with injectables. And then they may be referred to plastic surgeon, for example. But we always try to agree on what we want together. So then the patient is going to have a good outcome. And then after that, we always do an informed consent. I explain about all the risks. In my practice, I don't say, I always tell all the risks rather than just making them do a treatment without knowing everything. And then we take pictures, and so then we can compare. This is something that's important for us and for the patient, but also a requirement from the government. And then the patient will always gonna lay down, relax first, and we are always gonna do in the patient's pace so they feel comfortable during the treatment. And in the end, that's the moment that we are all waiting for, which is the facing the mirror. And it's, for me, the greatest moment is always to see the smile on the patient's face and see the results and what can be achieved.
Fantastic. Amazing. Okay, well, thank you so much for speaking to us today, Dr. Karla. It's been really, really interesting and really informative as well.
Thank you very much. It's been a pleasure to be able to share my knowledge and make patients feel always comfortable when coming to clinic.
Absolutely. I think it's really important for patients to be able to find out what exactly to expect, you know? So brilliant.
Thank you.
Okay, so if you're looking for expert dermal filler treatment, arrange an appointment with Dr. Karla via her profile at topdoctors.co.uk.